Welcome, everyone, to the very first Creative Mornings Trondheim. This global event is only possible because of the dream of one person. Please join me in welcoming that person to the stage. Catherine.
Good morning. I promised myself I'm not gonna cry. I can't keep that promise. This makes me so happy, you have no idea. This has been a roller coaster since the beginning. I was in New York in June. I've been thinking about Creative Mornings for years because it's such a cool concept. But I was speaker at an event, and suddenly Sally and Lisa from headquarters was also speaking, and they talked about why Creative Mornings is such a special community, and I just fell in love. And I just instantly had to grab them and please let me come to headquarters and talk about Trondheim. And they were excited for Trondheim as well, and we sent in a video application in September. They called after 2 weeks and said yes.
Okay, today's theme, as you all know, is anxiety. The theme was chosen by our friends at Creative Mornings Bucharest. Every month, a different chapter around the world chooses a theme. We thank our friends in Bucharest for the challenge. This event today is made possible by MailChimp, Adobe, and WordPress.com. They are the global partners of Creative Mornings, and we thank them for their support. Anxiety. Why are we so afraid to talk about anxiety? It is the perfect theme for the first event. I cannot tell you how anxious we've all been. I've suffered from anxiety personally my entire life, and it's only recently I've begun to talk about it and own it. But why are we so afraid when some of the most creative people in the world suffer from anxiety? Barbra Streisand, at the height of her career, suffered from performance anxiety to the point where she stopped performing in public for 27 years. A little closer to home, Edvard Munch. He suffered from severe anxiety his entire life, but he was still able to create one of the world's most famous paintings, The Scream, with that anxiety. So I have a question for you today to ponder during the talk. Are creative people naturally anxious? Or is it anxiety that makes us all creative? Is it actually our superpower? If it is our superpower, we should start talking about it and owning it. The first step to owning it is talking, and that's what we're going to do today. Catherine, how about yourself?
I've struggled with anxiety and depression early in my life. And what I really love about Creative Mornings is the global themes. It's the same all over the world. And our local hosts, we can decide whichever speaker we want to. And what's really important to me was do more than just scratch the surface. And that's why I chose Yuna. And I'm really happy that she's here to talk today.
Hello. Last weekend, I was celebrating my mom's 60th birthday. I hate speaking public, so my sister did the speeches. We had some alcohol then. Today, we drink coffee, so you can understand the anxiety inside of me. But bear with me. My grandmother, she was a lovely lady, and she had a good sense of humor. She always spoke good of people, and but there was something with her that I didn't find out. But as an adult, I understood that she was suffering from anxiety. So we were quite similar, but different. Different in the way that my grandmother didn't want help, because my grandpa, he understood that she had some mental issues, but she refuses to get help. She was a quite stubborn lady, like me. After she passed away 5 years ago, I thought, I have a mission in life. I want to talk about the anxiety and make it more human. So I think everyone can feel it, or they know anyone who has been struggling with it. My grandmother, she thought I could be a model in Paris, a stand-up comedian in USA, a lawyer, a singer, actress on big stages, and she really believed in me. And that's a good thing, but I wish she could believe in herself more and do all the things to accomplish her dreams. On her kitchen bench, when she was alive, she had a flower, and it was quite dead. And I was telling her, "You should water it, or else it's gonna die." She was like, "No, it's no use." And I was like, "Positive? No, just water in it. It will be fine." And she said, "No, June, it's that dead as me. I'm gonna die soon." And I got like, "Oh God, can't you just water it? You're gonna live longer." Few months afterwards, she passed away, and that flower was there, and I was quite angry just because of that flower, because it kind of irritated me, because I knew that she had been suffering from things, and she didn't live out her dreams. So I'm quite familiar with the mental health problem. My reaction experience is that you get like a really heavy heart, you can't breathe, and maybe your throat is getting choked. It feels like you're choking. So it's a lot of energy you use to think about it. This is extreme sport, someone skydiving, but this is like skydiving for me, because I haven't done it, and but it was standing on my, a checklist of what I'm going to do in this life. So hopefully it would be more of this if it's good enough. Woo! So here comes I've never understood why it's such a taboo to have a mental problem, because everyone understand if you talk about it, it would be getting better. So I think we should get rid of that taboo. The quote, "Fake it till you make it." I hated that quote before, because to fake something that for me is unnatural. But when you have anxiety and a mental health problem, you sometimes have to do that just to cope with the everyday and to get out from bed and your house. So I will say that anxiety releases my inner drive. Like David said, there you are. He said, "I like to think of it as my superpower." I think that's a good thing, because I have this inner drive, and it comes together, and poof, and all my paintings is going in that anxiety. I have been doing cognitive therapy for 3 to 4 years, and I learned how to not think thoughts that was really negative. I've also been struggling with depression, so I don't know what came first, depression or anxiety. But I was quite stubborn about medicine, because I didn't want to be addicted about it. Tried with meditation, Pilates, yoga, and trained to be better. When I knew I was gonna have this event, and Katrin had put up this picture of me, I got so sick, and I was almost puking. And not because I had a hangover, but it was because I was so afraid. I was like, what am I going to do here? What am I going to talk about? Who is going to listen to me? Blah, 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 blah. You know, the inner negative thoughts. But since I have been practicing on my tools, if we can call it that, I found some inner... Thank you. Okay, but since I've been practicing all of my negative thoughts, I even called my company for Juniverse, because my name is June. And I couldn't have done that if I hadn't been through the therapy. Because I couldn't even think about standing here in the light and all you people for maybe 5 years ago. So with anxiety, it's about exposing yourself. You feel like it's quite difficult, And but last year in autumn, I had an exhibition. There I was very proud. You can see. I had a vernissage that day, and someone had made me some flowers, and I was very proud myself because I didn't had a exhibition with the new paintings in 4 years or something, 3-4 years. About the flower at my grandma's house, I would like that people do stuff and be creative and follow their dreams. It sounds really cheesy, but I mean it. So with that flower, I would say don't become that flower before you do your thing. Thank you.